Well, howdy there, Internet people, it's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about Trump kicking down at the homeless again. There's nothing quite as American as a billionaire president with billionaire buddies signing an order to tell the poor to stop dirtying up the streets and being poor. The man occupying the most powerful office in the land, surrounded by the richest people in the country, signed an order telling local governments to bring back involuntary civil commitment. The rich seem to be genuinely asking the poor to go buy more money. The order uses a typical Trump linguistic trick to play those people who aren't paying attention. The order states that the issues are, quote, endemic vagrancy, disorderly behavior, sudden confrontations, and violent attacks. I mean, who wouldn't want to use government resources to lock up those responsible for violent attacks? What about vagrancy? That's literally just being poor and homeless. Endemic vagrancy is a bunch of poor homeless people. Disorderly behavior, a loosely defined term that can cover anything from a mental health incident to a guy selling flowers by the interstate. I'm curious, if you sit in the most powerful office in the land and you're surrounded by the wealthiest people in the country, whose responsibility is it to get people out of poverty? Maybe an office could be set up to coordinate the nation's effort to combat homelessness. Ready for the Chesterton's fence moment? There was. The U.S. Interagency Council on Homelessness was created in 1987 by Congress and under Republican President Ronald Reagan. Trump shut it down back in March, because of course he did. Whatever happened to all that talk about how the country needed to make cuts so we could help homeless vets? I guess not, right? As is typically the case, people only bring up helping homeless vets when they don't want to help some other group. This order is directly targeting the people the right wing always says they want to help. I know, people think it's only going to be for people who are dangerous, or who they consider dangerous at least. The order specifically tells you it's not. It's, quote, encouraging civil commitment of individuals with mental illness who pose risks to themselves or the public, or are living on the streets and cannot care for themselves. Or people living on the streets and cannot care for themselves. How long do you think it'll be before the test of whether or not you can care for yourself is, are you homeless? So, what did the establishment billionaire surrounded by establishment billionaires, who together are wielding a massive amount of power, do to help alleviate this issue? You know, the issue they've now decided is too hard, and instead plan on using involuntary confinement to fix. They gave themselves massive tax cuts and threw more people into poverty with their cuts to Medicaid and SNAP. They made it worse. Those people who were relying on SNAP, who were right on the edge. What do you think is going to happen as the cuts take effect? When they have to choose between food and rent, which do you think they'll choose? There's a whole lot of people who voted for Trump that are about to realize he'd literally rather see them locked up than help them. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.